Hello everybody, welcome back to ACV Customized. This is DCWF, and today I'm doing a little bit of a different kind of video for you. I'm going to turn around and complete this picture. Everybody on the video has seen me do a lot of sketching, and mostly that's what you've seen. So today I decided to do something a little different. I actually decided to come on here, have a picture that I've already done the sketching on, and I'm going to finish this picture for you as best I can in real time. So here's what I'm going to use today, and I'm going to also turn around and do I'm actually going to test out something interesting that I saw on a Facebook picture. I don't know how many people have seen it, but it's kind of an illusion trick. So I'm going to do my own variation on it. But they took a black and white drawing, and all they had was little colored lines. And then when you look at the picture, you see in color. I think it's a really awesome technique because, well, it's hard to explain for that. So I'm not even going to go into explain that one. Either way, I think it looks really cool. So I'm going to try to recreate that, but on a piece of paper right here on a drawing that's been done and not a photograph. So, but I'm going to do it my way. So I don't know if it'll work exactly as planned. We're going to find out. So it's kind of a challenge video. It really is. It's not really a how-to. It's just kind of a challenge video. So let's find out what we can do. So first things first, I'm going to take this pencil, which is also sharpened. I already sharpened it. And I'm going to kind of like darken up some of these areas real quick. If you are watching, try to keep it at a flat angle and go as lightly as possible, because the darker you press, the harder it'll be to smooth this out, okay? Now, I don't particularly care if it's really, really dark right this second. This is a shadow. So, and yes, you can see the outlines of it, but that's fine. Right this minute, I'm just using a pencil. Okay. Okay, let me finish this. Circles do work pretty good, so you might want to make sure to do the circles. And the more you layer, the darker it'll get. So, there you go. There's the pencil. Now I'm going to take this little Q-tip here. You can use you can use a lot of different things. I'm using this because what I want is to smooth it out, because I don't know how many people have seen this, but when you do that, what happens is it smudges. Okay? I don't know how many people have seen it, but it does. It just smudges. Right on your hands. You look like you turn around and you look like you've been at the police department and had your fingerprints inked. You had your fingerprints taken, you have ink all over you, and it's just lead from the pencil. This does help cut that down a little bit. It will still do a little smudging, but this does help cut down on it. Now, since it is a shadow, shadows can be a little bit hazy. So I'm going to go around these lines, which is going to cause the shadow to be a little bit of a haze. And if you need to clean it up, which I might and I might not, it depends on how I like it, how I like the look of it. In a minute, if I like the look of it, I'm not going to worry about it. Which right the second I like the look of it, so I'm probably not going to worry about it. But you can use an eraser, which, as you can tell, I've got one. There you go. Just softens up those hard edges. Okay. Now I'm not going to do a whole bunch with the pencil. I wanted to give a shadow. And shadows are a little easier to do with a pencil if you don't want it so blacked out. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pen. Now I got two pens. I've got a 0.05 and I got a 0.1. That's a black ink. So I'm going to start with the 0.05. I've used these a lot, so hopefully it's got enough ink. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm sorry if I'm covering it up a little bit. I'm trying not to. But I'm going to do the outline. And if it's a little bit, well, as you can see, it's not like it's a straight line. I'm not using a ruler to make it one. There's nothing wrong with that. Gives a little more of an organic feel anyway. And in art, a little bit of an organic feel. It's pretty much a necessity, actually. You need a little bit of organic feeling to your drawing. And I'm going to do my best to follow the pictures. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this with this little 0.05 pin. If you're watching, you'll see that what it looks like now is a little bit of fur. And I'm not erasing the background pencil marks. I'm not following them either exactly. But I'm leaving them because it gives a little bit of extra detail. And a little extra detail is usable. So, here we go. Here we go. So far, you can see I've done a little bit of an ink. Now, I've done the outline right there. And I could have used, I mean, I'll be honest, I could have used that one. And that would have worked good, because this is really supposed to be for finer detail, but I have a tendency to use the small one all the time. But let's just finish up doing these lines. Okay. And it doesn't matter if there's some underlying pencil lines. Okay. And don't worry if you hear any little bit of music in the background. By the way, Merry Christmas to those who are watching. I most likely am going to release this one. I'm hoping this will be released before Christmas, okay? Makes for a fun project. And feel free to draw, and if you want to follow along a little bit, you can. I'm not keeping you from doing that. It's just this one's not really a how-to video. This was really more showing it's showing me completing a drawing. Okay. I know that y'all see me do some inking and all, but, I say it's me completing a drawing. You've seen me do inking. So this isn't really, this is a completion drawing, but it's also a challenge. I honestly wanted to try something, and I'm making it a little bit of a challenge. I do not know what I would call this challenge, but I'm going to make it one. Okay. Now let's come up here for a second. Let me do this. My little bow tie here could use a little, could use a little bit of a there we go. Now, I can't promise anybody will really consider this a challenge or not, but we'll find out, okay? So you know what? I'm going to take this, now that I've gotten that, I'm going to use the 0.1 here instead of the 0.05, and I'm going to finish doing this part right here. Okay? I want to make it look a little bit, I want these lines to be a little bit thicker, which, I mean, technically it's kind of hard to tell, but they are a little thicker. Here we go. They're a little thicker, which is helpful. And I'm going to try to keep this thing as focused as I can. Please understand that this, no matter what, is still, I'm having to hold the picture. I'm having to hold the camera by hand and draw this with my other hand. Okay. Technically, I could put one there, and right there gives me that. Now I'm going to actually finish doing these. I'm not going to, I had thought about turning around and actually going through and making them all look the same with a similar style. Okay? But you know, I didn't want that. I wanted it to look, I wanted it to stand out. Man, even for this, I could just use, I have another pin here. I could just use this pin for this part, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use this one. Now, if everybody's wondering, well, you know, it doesn't look straight. I didn't use rollers. I didn't use rulers. It's not like I can't. It's not even like I haven't before. But I've found that a little more of a natural flow works better. It looks a little bit better to me. Having this natural, having like a natural flow to the drawing. Where it's got these different where it just has these different, where it's got these little ripples and all. Okay? That is really what I mean. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do is down here, I'm going to do this. See, on the ground part, and yes, there's going to be tons of people who are going to tell me that, well, the lines weren't straight. They're not supposed to be. If I really, really wanted them straight, I'd actually really, really have them straightened out. But I didn't want them that way. Okay, I'm just adding all this little bit in right here, just to give a little more of a illusion to the shadowing. There we go. Now I could go darker, I can make it dark, but I'm not going to. Okay, so now I've actually technically done that part. So what I'm going to do next is this. This right here, because we have the light coming down. I'm not going to go fully dark on everything. I'm really not. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to darken a little bit using this. I'm going to turn around and make this side just a little thicker. Don't get me wrong. I'm putting the shadows where I want them. I want to give an illusion of some shading and all, but I'm putting them where I want them. I'm not putting them exactly where you might would. Okay. And the slower you go, the more time you take, the more details you can get, and the straighter lines and so on and so forth, if that's what you're wanting. But just didn't really want that. And you know, I'm not going to, I could, well, I will right here. Put this right here, because it's supposed to be a three-dimensional image. See that right there? Well, now look, just a little hints of light, so that way it does resemble like there's fur almost. Now you got the look of a three-dimensional image there. And then, you know what, why not? we'll turn around and do this. Try to keep it in the same lines for like how you got the other lines, because I think it'll make it look a little bit better. Don't worry, I'm not just, this isn't where I'm stopping here. Like I said, I've got a little bit, it's going to be a little bit more of a, this is like a challenge video. Gonna try it as an illusion. I don't know if it'll work, but it looked like it'd be fun to try. Like I said, where I saw him do it was an actual photo. It was a photograph. I don't know who took the photograph, don't remember. But I like this idea. So we're going to test it out. Okay. There we go. So give ourselves a little bit of shading there. Now, I'm actually going to go ahead and put the ink pen up, because I mean, I could do further. I could make it darker here, darker there. Well, okay. I'm going to put it up in just a second. Let me do that. Like I said, make it darker. There you go. So we're going to count that as the shading. I'm not going to worry about shading this because I don't really want to. Now that I've gotten this done, here comes, technically, here comes the actual like challenge of this video, okay? Let me count these. Let's see. I want to go with, let's see. Yep, okay. So we're going to start with this. Okay, I got a 0.4 graphic. Water and fade proof. And it's in a green color. Okay? So we're going to try and do this. And I'm not going to do, I'm not coloring in. I'm going to do like this. So we're going to start here. Okay? Okay, and we're going to go, so this area is white. That area is going to be another color too. I'm going to try to keep these all in within a certain lining. And if I think it needs more, I'll come back and do a little more. But right this second, and if you want them straight lined, if you want them in the same angle, then feel free to, if you're turning around and actually decide to do something similar, go ahead and, you know, get an angle and do it that way if that's what you want to do. As I said though, kind of saw this illusion trick and I wanted to see if it would work. Okay. And yes, sometimes if you move a page around, you would probably do better. Okay, and as you can see, we got that. So right this minute, I'm going to stop with the green. And now, I got the same kind, but in a red. It's the same kind, same group, same company, just in a red ink pen. Or red ink. I don't know if I call it, it's either way. It's a drawing pen. Now, of course, this section is really big, but that's okay. I don't know. They try to keep the candy cane lines, you know, How would you call it? They try to keep them in an even spacing, but I like a little extra variation in mine. Yeah. There we go. And it doesn't matter if it's a little over that line or not that I drew. Okay? It doesn't matter about that. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Okay, so let's see what we got here so far. Not bad. Not bad. It does give a little bit of the illusion that I'm after. But I'll tell you what. I'm going to say the small ones that probably won't work so well. Well, you know what? I'm not going to. I'm not. I like how that looks, so I'm not going to change how that looks. Okay, let's turn around and do this then. So, we're going to turn around and do... There we go. I am going to add a little... I think I'm going to add a little extra line right... I think I'm going to add a little extra on these lines right here. Just because I kind of think this section needs. I think this section just needed it. And it does make that a little bit darker up there, but that's okay. There we go. Yeah, you know what? I have to say I kind of like that. I don't know if it did exactly as I saw it do. Might be too thick of lines even for all I know. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's too thick of lines. Maybe you need to go thinner. But, in all honesty, I actually still do. I'm going to make that a little redder right there, because that's not going to hurt. I'm not going to color it all in, but I am going to do that just for the sheer fun of it. So, that works. And then if I want to make it a little darker, all I would do is in the sections where I need it, is do this right there. Ooh. Well, I wouldn't hurt anything, but I didn't want it right there. Okay. You know, I kind of like that. It gives an interesting definition down there. Which actually means I could, before I go out, I could do this. Make it a little bit... There you go. There we go. I like how that looks. So, the challenge, so like I said, now I'm going to try and tell you exactly what it is I was talking about. Because I don't know if I did at the beginning of this video. Sorry if I didn't. Either way, what I had seen was there was this picture going around Facebook where someone had taken a photograph and it was black and white. And what they did was that they took little lines, little grid lines, placed different colored grid lines on the pictures. And it caused the picture to appear to be colored instead of just black and white. So, like I said, I really do like how this turned out. Actually, I do. I am going to go ahead and do these. I wasn't going to, but I'm going to go ahead and add these in. Kind of to give it a little bit more vibrant of a color. I think it worked a little bit better probably on the photograph. But I gotta be honest, I do like this. It still gave me what I was looking for, I think. It may not give the exact on what I kind of thought it might, but it did give me what I wanted on here. So, here we go. I mean, I think it works. Some of them are darker than others. And I'm sure that if I had more cross-hatching and stuff, it would make it darker. But, you know, I don't think I want to do that. I want to leave it like that. I kind of like it. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say Merry Christmas, for one thing. And I'm going to take this pen. I had actually brought a white pen, but, you know, I don't really need it. So, I'm not going to worry about it. So, I'm going to come down here, right below my shadow that I drew, and sign it. And today is the 5th of December in the year 2024. So let's look this one more time. Did it work exactly like I thought it would? No, but I actually enjoyed trying out my idea. And I still say that it worked. Did it work exactly like I thought it would? No. It probably would have worked better as a digital. If I did this digitally, it would have came out more so. But you know, it still worked. So I do consider this a challenge. I consider it my own version of a challenge. Drawing a picture, doing a color picture, using the minimal and trying to use the lesser amount of the color instead of having to use a full-on marker or turn around and literally block in the whole thing. I like this. It works. So, Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year. I hope you have a great day and a great week and a great new year for real. And I will see you again next time in the next video. So long.